The Dodgers avoid the sweep. They take the third game against the Cardinals. We got an update on Tony Gonsolin and McKain. What will the Dodgers pitching plan look like in San Diego? All that more coming up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Tommy Tank strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Gibby! Meet Freddie!
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers that found a way to get a win in St. Louis, found a way to get hits with runners in scoring position, found a way to get some use and some length against a Cardinals team that was looking to get a sweep. And I think the main story today is Clayton Edward Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw looked like vintage Kersh today. I mean, it wasn't Cy Young Kersh. It wasn't MVP Kersh, but it was a lot better than the Kersh that we've seen for the last couple starts this season as far as swing and miss goes. And this is the version of Clayton Kershaw that in year 18, that in a sport where pitchers are just dropping like flies, can still be extremely valuable. They can still help a team like the Los Angeles Dodgers because he was able to go 5 innings in this one, because he was able to get strikeouts, to get swing and miss. Today, Kersh went 5 innings, gave up 1 run on 6 hits, had 7 strikeouts, also importantly did not allow 1 walk. This was the best that Clayton Kershaw has looked since he's been back. Well, this is the best that Clayton Kershaw has looked in a couple of years. He got 7 strikeouts. I mean, this is the first time that he had got 7 strikeouts in a game in a couple of years. It was 2 years ago on this day was the last time he had a 7 strikeout game. He, with those 7 strikeouts, is now at 2,981 punch-outs for his career. That passed Dodgers legend Zach Greinke, of course, for 20th of all time on the all-time strikeout leaderboard. And if you look at his last 4 starts, I mean, a 2.70 ERA. This is going to play. This is going to help this team in a major, major way. Got 12 swings and misses. He now has 65 games in his career with 7 or more strikeouts and 0 walks. That's more than Curt Schilling, more than Max Scherzer, more than Randy Johnson. And this is a pitcher that's determined to help this team and contribute this year, that's determined to show that, hey, I'm not going to end my career on the IL. I'm not going to end my career as an afterthought in the Dodgers dugout wearing a Dodgers sweatshirt, just being a de facto coach and trying to mentor the guys. No, I still got something left in the tank, and I think today was Kershaw's, hey, I've still got it game, right? I still got something in there that this team can use. And also another goal, I don't care if he admits it or not, he wants to get to 3,000 strikeouts. He wants to be just the 4th lefty and the 20th overall pitcher to reach that 3,000 strikeout milestone, that exclusive club. And now he's just 17 punch outs away from 3K. And I think today what stood out in his start is that when he can command that fastball, he is going to be able to get that curveball across, to use that slider down and in, to back foot that slider. And the slider had more depth on it today. The curveball had more break on it today. And I also thought the sequencing was a lot better between him and Will Smith in this one, finding ways to use that in big spots we needed to. And look, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Clayton Kershaw is not a guy that's going to dominate hitters with high velocity, but he can still dominate hitters with the strikeouts, right? You can still be dominant by having a good amount of punch outs and good amount of swing and miss, right? You don't need to throw 100 to be dominant. Being dominant is getting swing and miss. Being dominant is getting punch outs, and he did that today. Today, the four-seam fastball, the velocity was up a little bit. It was up 0.5 miles per hour. He's averaging 89.1 miles per hour on that four-seamer. Today, it topped out at 91.5. But this is the recipe for success for Kersh, is when he's throwing that slider either as much or more than that four-seamer. And today, he threw the slider 39%. He threw the four-seamer 39%, curveball 18%, and he also threw 3 splitters, so 4% of the time, through 82 pitches overall. And I love the way, too, he was able to just work his way around some jams in this one. I mean, bottom of the first inning, he gave a 2-out double to Brendan Donovan, but he was able to strike out Contreras. And that is the sign that Kershaw is where he needs to be at this stage of his career, where, yes, you might give up some hard contact. Yes, you might give up a double with 2 outs, but you're not giving up that 2-run home run, and you're escaping the innings with strikeouts. And with Donovan at second and Contreras at the plate, it was a four-seam fastball dotted on the corner at 90 miles per hour. So when he has confidence in the location of that fastball, the velocity becomes irrelevant. It really does, because of the tunneling of that slider, because of hitters knowing that that four-seamer that's at 90 always has a chance to be a slider that falls off the table. They're going to respect it. And as long as he's commanding it, he's going to be in a good spot. And then he had confidence in the second, and he came out there, struck out Herrera with that slider, challenging him in the zone, struck out Pages a couple batters later with a dirty Cooperstown curve that just looked nasty in this one. And you just see right here, just dotting stuff, curveballs, sliders, fastballs, the arsenal for him, and the speed differential too. I mean, can you drop that curveball down to 71? You're talking about 19 to 20 miles per hour off of it compared to where your fastball is. Then third inning, get back-to-back strikeouts. Barrera with the curve. You got Newbar swinging with the slider down and away. Fourth inning, he gave up a 2-out double to Herrera, then got Arenado to ground out to first. So wasn't perfect, did give up some hits, did pitch through some traffic. And then the fifth inning, gave up the leadoff single to Burleson, then another single to Pages. So back-to-back singles there in the fifth. Then he got Barrera to foul out, got Newbar swinging with another nasty slider down the way. He had him on that pitch all game. And then he gave up the double to win. And at that point, it looked like he was running out of gas just a little bit, fell behind the count, left that slider up. I think that was a sign of his fatigue. But like I said, he's able to get strikeouts when he needs them now. And with runners on second and third, he struck out Donovan with the slider up in the zone, challenged him. So I thought Kersh was fantastic today based on where he's at in his comeback. And it's 17 strikeouts from 3K. Let's celebrate this man. All my Christian rise, all my Christians, my devout Christians rise, because, hey, I'm going to always get excited. I'm always going to be happy when Kersh is out here dominating and having success, and he certainly did that today. But welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. The Dodgers finally get a win, and you take some momentum. I think that's another big thing with this one, is finding a way to kind of right some of these wrongs that we've seen in this one, in this series, because this team just did not have any success with runners in scoring position for the first couple of games. Heading into today's action, the first 2 games of the series, the Dodgers, they couldn't hit water if they fell off a boat. They couldn't hit sand if they fell off a camel with runners in scoring position. They were 1 for 25 in this series with RISP heading into this game. And it looked like it was going to be more of the same early in this one. The first inning, the Dodgers come out there, and you got opportunities. Ohtani gets a leadoff double on the first pitch, and then you got 2 hard outs. Betts lined to third, Freeman lined to first, then Teo ended up grounding to third, and you're like, oh no, it's happening again. And at that point, the Dodgers 1 for 28 with runners in scoring position this series. But it all changed in the second inning when things started to turn around for this team. Muncy gets a leadoff single. Smith gets a single, so back-to-back singles. Then a couple batters later, Tommy Edman making his return to St. Louis. He comes through in a big spot. He singled to center to score Muncy to give the Dodgers their first run of the afternoon.
And countless memories. He swings at the first pitch and grounds it into center field for a base hit. Muncy going to wheel around third and score. At long last, the Dodgers break through with runners in scoring position, and they take a 1-0 lead.
So Tommy Edman comes through, and then the other big story of this game, I think the second biggest story of this game is Hyeseong Kim. Hyeseong Kim is Hyeseong him. The Comet needs more playing time. The Comet should be starting more games. He should be getting more at-bats. And yes, they've been using him in advantageous situations, optimizing him, not facing left-handed pitching, giving him good runway to get the job done. But he was big time in this one once again. With runners on the corners, Hyeseong Kim at the plate, a 1-0 count. He triples to right. That scored Will Smith and Tommy Edman, and that gave the Dodgers an early 3-0 lead.
And that is roped down the right field side. Smith is going to score. Kim booking it for second. Green light for Edman. Going first to home. No play at the play. A 2-run triple for Hyeseong Kim.
A 2-run triple for Hyeseong Kim. And Kirsten pointed out during the broadcast, Mookie was yelling at Kim while he was on third because he wanted him to do the Freddie, to do the Shohei, to do the hit celebrations. And he was so locked in that he wasn't doing them right away. So I just love the fact that they've just embraced him and he feels so comfortable. And look, the biggest thing too, forget all that stuff. The thing I care most about is the fact that he's producing at such a high level. I don't care if it's Hyeseong Kim's family. I don't care if it's his best friend, his mom, his dad. No one could have expected that he was going to have this level of success this early. And today was another example of him being the guy that you want him to be. He gets the hit, got the 2 RBIs, the Doc pinch hit for him later with Kike Hernandez. But now after today, Hyeseong Kim, in his career with the Dodgers, not played every day, but making the most of those opportunities. Now in 61 plate appearances, Hyeseong Kim is 24 for 61 with 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, scored 13 runs, has 9 RBIs, 3 walks. He's hitting .414 with a .443 on base, a .586 slug, and a .193 weighted runs created plus. A .193 weighted runs created plus. The big adjustment they made with Hyeseong Kim is he's ditched that leg kick. He's keeping his foot closer to the ground, similar to what we saw with Shohei Ohtani when he came over here, and he's reaping the benefits. The slug is up, the bat to ball is up, and he looks like a big leaguer. He looks like a difference maker. I think the big question for Kim was, hey, could he hang? Could he just look respectable against big league pitching? He's been great. He's been fantastic. Hyeseong Kim is Hyeseong him. And he needs to play more, and it can't be just against righties. I think you look at the defense, too. He made a really, really nice play in the outfield, tracking down a ball, making a great beat on one, and having a great route, and he's showing that speed and athleticism to get one of the warning track. And Clayton Kershaw, he had his hands up. He was happy about that. So he's getting more experience in center, and he can already play second. He can play short, and I think you look at where he's at this season, you have to fast track that development if you want to make sure that he's a part of your postseason mix. Because the more he plays, the more he learns. He's like a sponge right now, man. He's soaking all of this in. He's taking the new information, and he's using it every single at bat, every time he's on the field. And I think that you have to get him through a slump. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we have to get a slump through him because that's how you truly see if a guy's going to stick. I mean, there's a lot of hitters that come up, they hit the ground running, and you're like, okay, this is the next guy. This is the next it player. But then they don't make it through that slump, and they're like, okay, this is who he is. So as far as the evaluation period and whether or not you have to go out there and trade for another bench bat, whether it be a left-handed hitter, whether it be a right-handed hitter, whether it be a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter that can play the outfield or the infield, you have to use this next month plus to truly put an evaluation on Hyeseong Kim and ask yourself this question. Are we just developing him for the future, or do we think that he can have some type of prominent role in whatever we ask out of him in the postseason? Because if it's the latter, then he needs more playing time, and you need to make sure that he's seeing enough at-bats at this level to do just that. And then also want to give credit to, I think for the MV3 today, remember the MV3, let me know who your top 3 players from this game. My MV3, I'm going Clayton Kershaw, I'm going Hyeseong Kim, and I'm going Tommy Edman, because it was a great homecoming. And, of course, not from St. Louis, but that was his baseball home where he had his career. He got a great ovation, the St. Louis crowd chanting his name, and he had another big Tommy Edman game in St. Louis. He had the single to start things off in the second, and then top of the 4th inning with the Dodgers up 3-0. He doubled to left. That scored Will Smith. That gave the Dodgers a 4-0 lead at that point. And it was great to see him have a really good series and contribute in a big way, because he mentioned it. Okay, this is where I developed. This is where I grew as a player, and he was big. I mean, even the top of the 8th inning, he got a sac fly to make it a 6-3 game. So he was massive in this one. Tommy Edman looking more like the Tommy Edman we saw earlier in the year. Hard contact, not expanding the zone. Today, Tommy Tanks went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, and he talked to Kirsten Watson after the game about his return to St. Louis.
Tommy, a lot of the conversation this weekend was you guys getting on base but unable to make things happen with runners in scoring position. For you, 3 RBIs today. What was just the focus for you at the plate in your approach?
Yeah, I mean, really not trying to do anything different. When we get runners on base, it can be kind of random. Sometimes you're getting hit, sometimes you don't. That first inning today, we had a couple lineouts with the runner on second base, and then the hits kind of started to fall. So, we didn't try to panic too much. Just, keep going with the way we've been going and keep putting together good at-bats.
What were you seeing from McGreevy just to get to him today?
Yeah, no, he's a good pitcher, good young guy. I actually know him from back in the Cardinals organization, and he's just a guy who knows how to pitch. So, you got to stay selective, but also know the zone that you're going to be attacking. And fortunately, we were able to scratch together some runs off him.
For you to be coming back from kind of aggravating that ankle, did you feel like you're able to kind of lock things in offensively as of late?
Yeah, just kind of getting back to the good habits that I've, been trying to build throughout my time here. It's always kind of messing around with some things. I feel like I found some good cues the last couple of days, so hopefully they stick.
It's always special to play behind Clayton Kershaw. What were you seeing from him today that allowed him to be so effective?
Yeah, he's great. Just changing speeds, really good command. And all his pitches are really tough to hit. Slider was working, curveball was working today, and just been a great pitcher in this league for a long time, and it's definitely a privilege to get to play with him.
Being able to pick up the win is special in itself, but for you personally, this was your first time back in St. Louis since being traded to the Dodgers. How would you describe what this weekend was like for you?
It was great. A lot of fun. Got to see a lot of familiar faces over there. Just got nothing but good things to say about those guys. Got a lot of good friends on that team, and it was fun to beat them today. Unfortunately, we lost the first couple of games, but just glad we got out of here with a win.
To hear the crowd erupt for you, I mean, are those moments you'll never forget?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really cool feeling.
Congratulations on this win, Tommy.
Thanks, Kirsten. Appreciate it.
Tommy Tanks getting it done. Now, another big story in this one was Mookie Betts, and I see you guys down below in the comment section talking Mookie, thinking that things have changed for him, and I totally agree. Let's get some comments in here. We got Tommy and Key and Kim are clutch from Monta Racer. Hyeseong Kim from Foxy Crash. Why does Dave Robert dislike Kim playing? We got LSU Jones. Conforto got a hit today. Yeah, it's always great to see Conforto have some success. We got Nando. Kim plays more only if Rojas gets DFA'd. Nicholas, I see my man Richard Rodriguez. We got Tristan Ryan on YouTube. Hyeseong Kim definitely needs some more playing time. Thee says let Kim face lefties. BC Kim greater than sign Jung-Hoo Lee. Yeah, I mean, lots of Kim love down below in the comment section. But give me your MV3 for today. What are your 3 most important players for this Dodgers win? Also, what is your biggest takeaway from this series. A little later, we're going to talk about Tony Gonsolin's injury and what it means to the Dodgers rotation, and in a very encouraging update for Emmett Sheehan, he could be the X factor for this team. We'll get into that in a little bit. But another big takeaway from this one is what a series it has been for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is starting to look like the MVP bat version of Mookie Betts. Now, shortstop, he's already been great this season. He's been above average. You've heard me talk about that all season long. He is legitimately a top 5 defensive shortstop in this game. In this series, he's been great. I mean, he had 3 hits in the first game with a double. Yesterday, he had another 3-hit game. If you look at since he's returned from the foot injury, he has had hits in almost every single game. He's had multiple hit games in 4 out of 5 heading into this one. But today, it was about the power for Betts. And that's the last thing we're waiting for, is seeing that power surge from Mookie. And we saw that in the 7th inning. The Dodgers up 4-2, Mookie at the plate, and Mookie was living his Betts life.
Right there. There you go. A drive to left field toward the corner. And gone.
So Mookie Betts homered, put the Dodgers up 5-2, and now all of a sudden you look at Mookie Betts' numbers on the season, and he's a couple of hot games, a couple of big weeks away from being MVP Mookie at the plate, and then adding above average shortstop Mookie defensively. Now after today, Mookie is up to 274. Batting, a 352 on base, 430 slug, and that weighted runs created plus is at 124. That's the highest it's been a while. He has 9 home runs, 7 doubles, and a triple on the season. And now we're talking about a guy that really is MVP caliber when he's playing like this and doing what he's doing defensively. So if he can build on this while maintaining his defense, we are talking about one of the most valuable players in the league. Yes, Shohei Ohtani, what he does at the plate is incredible, and when he comes back to the mound and starts pitching, he's going to be the MVP. I'm confident about that, but Mookie's doing it on both sides right now, and he deserves MVP love if he continues this. So I'm very encouraged by what I've seen from Mookie Betts. I asked Mookie a couple of days ago. I said, hey, Mookie, what do you think about the narrative out there that you playing shortstop has impacted your defense and impacted your offense and kind of made it where maybe there's less power for you at the plate? And he told me, period, point blank, that him playing shortstop, Mookie told me, him playing shortstop has had nothing to do with his slide offensively to start this season. Let's not forget, this is a guy that lost 20 pounds almost because he was sick earlier in the year. Let's not forget, too, this is a guy that, yes, he is playing that position, but he's also getting a little older, too. It's a lot of combination of factors into this one, but it's starting to look like Mookie is going to hit like the Mookie we've seen in the past while playing a premium position, and he's adamant. He was very adamant. What he told me was that he was hitting at an MVP level when he went down with the injury last year. So the fact is, he was not as good at shortstop last year, was working more at it, but was still hitting. Now, over the course of time, maybe that starts to add up, but he's confident that he's going to be able to do both, and I was just really impressed with Mookie Betts. But are you buying it? Is MVP... Look, BC, it's going to take more than a couple games, still not 800 OPS, a plus, but still, I mean, we're talking about weighted runs created plus. More important, more dynamic than that stat. And also, too, just the truth is, you have to look at the Mookie results in the last couple of weeks. And now I think I'm looking at the short sample for him because he's talked about the adjustment he made when he was out, watched a lot of film, found some hit cues. And I think for him, once you start to see him pull that ball to left field, especially anything on the inner half, it's been great. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't expand the zone. He doesn't strike out a lot either. It's just about increasing the hard contact. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed with him. I agree with your point, BC. Don't pinch hit for Kim. I agree with that. I think you definitely need to see that. But, yep, Mookie the story, Edmund the story, Kim the story, Kurz the story, and then we got the return of a couple of Dodgers that were on the IL. The first we saw today of Michael Kopech, and we also saw the return of a Mr. Kirby Yates in this one. And Kirby, he went a third of an inning, gave up a hit. And then Kopech, he went 1 inning, gave up a hit, had a strikeout. Tanner Scott also looked really good once again. And Kirby Yates is going to be important for this team. He gave up the single to Contreras in the 7th inning that gave the Cardinals another run. But he bounced back, got Herrera to ground to third to get out of the inning. And Kopech, I think the promising sign for Kopech was it was a nice soft landing. He comes in there with a 7-3 lead, gave up the single to start things off, but then he struck out Newbar, challenged him, four-seam fastball up in the zone, hit 98, got Wynn to line out, got Donovan to pop out. So I think with Kopech, you definitely want to see a little more velocity based on what we've seen from him in the past. You want to see some more swing and miss. He topped out today at 98.1 miles per hour. So it's going to take him a minute. I mean, the fastball down 1.5 miles per hour. This is a guy that can hit 102. So we'll allow him to ramp up a little bit, but it was good to see him have some success early in this one. But Clayton Kershaw, you got to feel good about Kersh going out there, having a big day in St. Louis. We know the history of him in St. Louis. We know the history of him sometimes in that ballpark and kind of what that's led to in that city. So it was good to see him not only have success, but against a very familiar NL opponent. Let's just call that what it is. But if they have Kersh, they got Yamamoto, who yesterday was outstanding. We'll talk some Yama in a second here. He was great. And Tony Gonsolin, he's going to be on the IL. And it's going to be a big question. Dave said about Tony Gonsolin, obviously, with a pitcher, when there's an elbow discomfort, we didn't see him making his next start, so it just seemed the logical thing, given where the pitching is, a guy that wasn't going to make his next start, to give him offline, to give him a handful of days to not play catch. Hopefully the pain, the discomfort subsides, and we get him throwing again and see where it takes us. So not encouraged by that at all whatsoever, but that's what makes starts like today's that much more important. Because if Kersh, who's already gone through a knee surgery, the foot issue, the shoulder surgery, if he can be a guy you can count on, well, then you get Blake Snell and Glasnow back at some point. You get Emmett Sheehan back at some point. Yamamoto continues to do what he's doing, and then Rogie comes back, and then Dustin May has been pitching well. Then it softens the blow a little bit. But if Kersh went out there today and stunk up the joint and got rocked a day after Gonsolin went on the IL, then you would start to get even more concerned about the pitching situation. But having him go out there and deal today the way he did was a major, major step in the right direction. But here was Kersh. Here was Kersh after the game talking about his start in St. Louis.
Clayton, you were excellent today. Did it feel like you were just kind of getting back to your true self on the mound and in sync where you like to be?
I think every start, the results haven't always been there, but I feel like there's been a little bit of progress with each one. So this was another one that I felt like my stuff was starting to trend up a little bit. Gave up a few too many hits, 2 strikes to, 3-2 counts a lot. So some things that I'd like to clean up overall. But, yeah, for the most part, I think there were some better throws today. Curveball was a little bit better today. Got some outs with that. Slider was okay today too. So command was better overall, though. I think that was probably the biggest thing. I had a little bit better command, which is good.
When you see more swing and miss in your game, is that a telling factor to you for anything?
Yeah, I mean, swing and misses are always good. You don't need strikeouts all the time, but if you have that ability, that's definitely a good thing. So good to see that in big situations, be able to get some swing and miss, and hopefully just keep trending.
I know you're tracking the 3,000 strikeout.
Freddie keeps reminding me.
You passed Zach Greinke.
Oh no, but I like that one. That's good. Good. I need to beat Zach. That's good.
Calling him to rub that in tonight?
No, but hopefully he finds out that I beat him and he texts me. Yeah.
What about the velocity? Did it feel like it was coming out of your hand better, a little bit faster?
Honestly, it's hard to tell. I try to look sometimes. I couldn't really see here that well. But I felt like every once in a while I would reach back and had a little bit extra. So look, it's not going to be amazing or anything, but I think at times it's getting a little bit of life on it, and making guys foul some pitches off, or get jammed a little bit, which is the goal.
The strike results were a problem in the last start. Much better this time. Is that just a product of the stuff being better?
Yeah, I think the command is important. I think leaving pitches middle with 2 strikes last game, a lot of curveballs that I left middle, and so being able to shorten the curveball at times, make the slider strike to ball a little bit more with 2 strikes. So, I think overall a little bit better stuff, but probably command more than anything.
Is that the part of today's game that you're happiest about as far as the consistency of the command?
Yeah, I felt like I had an idea where the ball was going. I think, when it was going bad there, I didn't really know how to correct it. And I feel like when I threw a bad one, I had some ideas on how to fix it with the next pitch. So that's all pitching is just making the adjustment as quick as you can. And I think, it wasn't perfect, but getting better.
Did you think Kim was going to make that catch on Wynn's fly ball in center in the 4th inning?
No, it was a great play. I didn't think he hit it that good, but it just kept traveling, and Kim made a great play. Yeah.
Clayton, your offense has been hitting all weekend, and maybe not with the sequencing. They might have wanted for them to get on the board early. How much will you be able to kind of pitch downhill and have that behind you?
Yeah, anytime guys get the lead, you want to try to hold it. So it shouldn't change anything you're doing. Just keep attacking, but obviously always feels nice to get runs early.
How big was it just to get a win today for you guys after the way the first 2 games went and going to San Diego?
Yeah, you definitely want to win. I think this win is important, just all the way around. Everybody, bullpen picked me up. Guys are swinging the bats well. It's just kind of a good, solid team win, which is, I think, what we needed headed into San Diego for sure.
You were out early this morning. I know that's part of your regular routine and whatnot, but pitching in this ballpark in particular, is there anything that was, rewarding about today, exciting about having a really strong start the way it went?
No. Yeah, not really.
Did you see video one for the game? I guess they do that for you every time. Welcome you with the video.
Yeah. I think it's a little bush league, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries.
There he goes, Clayton Edward Kershaw, talking about his start. And yeah, the bullpen picked him up. Lou Trevino gave a sac fly to center that scored Contreras. Had another run for the Cardinals later, but for the most part, yeah, the bullpen, they were stout in this one, and he has someone to build off, and I think this springboards him for the rest of his season, heading to the All-Star break, getting that confidence, knowing there's something there for sure. Now, Dave Roberts, he just talked to the media a couple minutes ago. We'll check in with Dave Roberts, but let's read some more comments. T-Rex over on YouTube. I don't get why playing shortstop would affect Mookie's hitting, just fatigue. Yeah, look, you ask shortstops around the league that especially someone that's learning that position at age 31 at the big league level, right? Mookie's talked about it, and I've seen Mookie on the field. We're talking hours of preparation before games that he did not have to do when he was in right field. And he's still getting his time in the cage, and he's still doing BP and things like that. But yeah, look, the physicality of the position too, more lateral movement. You're seeing more balls. Look, when you're the shortstop, you're the captain of the infield. And look, I asked Miguel Rojas straight up. He told me that shortstops tell him all the time that the longer the season goes, you're playing shortstop, the more that, you're in the batter's box and just a little bit of fatigue sets in. It's impact you at the plate. But Mookie's special. He's one of one. He's a talented athlete. That's the reason behind it. Just more focus on that. Bitterman over on X. Kershaw goes 5 innings, 1 run, 7 Ks, no walks, and picks up his first win of the season. Kirby Yates and Michael Kopech came off the injured list out of the bullpen and did not let any runs in. Great game all around. Off to San Diego next. Yeah, we're going to talk about that series in San Diego in a second here. It's a couple more, and we're going to hear from Dave Roberts. Kershaw threw a lot of strikes. He did well. Bullpen did okay. Our offense finally scored some runs. That's from Ray V. Guzman. Delirium, I hope TBD equals Emmett Sheehan. Nando, 390. Kershaw, the regular season Hall of Famer. Come on, Nando. Jose Aguirre, what up, D-Mac? Where's the Goat Shaw haters at? Guarantee there's still some clowns in here hating. We've got go defend your guy. KP Kershaw will go back on the IL before the end of the season. He just needs to retire already. Regular season ace, postseason choke master. Yeah, if you're saying that, I guess you're basically just proving you're not a Dodgers fan, but that's all good. Do you? That's totally fine. But here was Dave Roberts after the game talking about the Dodgers salvaging the series against the Cardinals and what's next for LA.
today?
I thought he was fantastic. Clearly his best outing yet. As you mentioned, the command was much better. The slider got the swing and miss we talked about. He just really didn't feel like he was laboring from pitch one, trying to find something. So the curveball incorporated was much better today. And it just kind of back to who he is, 7 strikeouts, no walk. And, they put together an inning, in that 5th inning, but found a way to get out of it and get a win, and much needed.
When you see just more swing and miss in his game, what does it say to you as just kind of where he's at and how he's continuing to this kind of just progress forward this season?
I think, obviously the characteristics of the slider, the depth, the lateness, that's a good sign. I think that the tunneling, everything looks the same. I think the hand speed is repeating to sell the fastball, to sell the slider. I just thought he was just in complete control. I thought Will did a great job with him. And, he scored enough today.
How big was it to score those 3 in the 2nd inning?
It was big. I thought the first inning we came out with good intent. Shohei's double, and I thought we squared some balls up and was able to put together an inning, put up a crooked number there in that 2nd inning. And, I thought overall with the walks, he had bats. I thought Muncy, Will really swung the bats well. Hyeseong, Tommy with some big hits and some sac fly. So overall, I thought the defense was really good. Kike made a nice play. I thought Muntz played really well at 3rd, and obviously there in the 9th, getting Kopech his first outing of the season, which was great, and to see Pajes make a play in right. So good all around.
The Dodgers get the win. Now they go down to San Diego. And the Padres, they win today, but the Dodgers, they took care of business. So you head into that series, a little momentum, knowing you got a win and you didn't get swept. And now the Dodgers, a game ahead of San Diego in the National League West. And this is going to be a massive series because, one, it's just the Padres-Dodgers has a lot of juice. I think it's, call it a rivalry, call it big brother, little brother, whatever you want to call it. These two teams, when they face off, they're extremely competitive. And the Dodgers sitting at 39-27, a game up on the Padres, but also just a game and a half up on the Giants, too. So the top 3 in the National League West bunched up there. And the Dodgers, 6 games next week against NOS foes. First, the Padres down in SD, and you come back up to LA to face the San Francisco Giants. So this is going to be one of the defining weeks of the regular season for LA. And tomorrow, you've got Dustin May going up against Nick Pivetta. Then Tuesday, we don't have the starter announced, but it is Dylan Cease for the Padres. And we'll see. The Dodgers, because of Gonsolin going on the IL, you have the option of bringing up a Landon Knack. We know that the Dodgers are facing a tough situation where you don't have all your guys this series from a starting pitching standpoint, so it's tough to kind of use all of that as a barometer, but you need wins. And Emmett Sheehan, he pitched on Saturday. He struck out all 4. He struck out 4. They didn't score a run in 3 innings against him. So he had 4 strikeouts in 3 innings against Reno. And he did go out there in the 4th inning, give a double. He had a hit batter, threw 57 pitches. That was 18 more pitches they had thrown on Sunday. So I think we're going to see Emmett Sheehan earlier than later. And we'll see what the pitching plan is because, the truth is the Dodgers have the least amount of quality starts. They've only gone 6+ innings 19 times this year. It's the 4th lowest in Major League Baseball. And Emmett Sheehan's going to be massive when he returns. And based on everything I've heard, everything I've seen, he looks really good. If you look at the fastball velocity and if you look at the way that his stuff is playing, he's looking just like the guy he did before he went down with the injury. He's been averaging 95.8 miles per hour on the fastball. He hit 97.4 on Saturday, so that's very close to what we saw from him in 2023. And he's also been using the slider a lot, getting a lot of swings and misses with that slider, with that 4-seam fastball. So, yeah, I think the next big step for Sheehan is getting him up to 5 innings, getting him to 70 to 80 pitches in that range. Probably going to see him again on Friday. I think that you probably call up. You could call Knack for Tuesday. Bobby Miller, of course, we know that he might get another crack at something at some point. He's been better of late, but yeah, it would be pretty nice to see. Hey, Emmett Sheehan's probably going to do better than a lot of the other options they have out there. Justin Robleski make another turn through the rotation. We'll see if he can have some success, but Emmett Sheehan getting into that Dodgers rotation sooner than later looks like it has to be the plan. You have to fast track him, even if you're building him up in the show. I think that has to be the plan for the Dodgers. But okay, a couple more in here, and then we'll let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But man, Padres tomorrow. I'm going to be down in San Diego. We're going to be all over it. It's going to be exciting baseball. The Padres, Dodgers, whenever they get at it. Little brother's going to have to see what's up. I mean, have they even scored? That scoring drought was just so embarrassing for them in the NLDS, and we'll see if they can get a revenge win. But a couple more comments here. Sean Klein, need a DMAC bobblehead. Appreciate that. Jose Aguirre, there's a $17 million why Conforto gets a lot of playing time. Yeah, I mean, he got a hit, so give him credit. He's been better of late. Conforto needs to go to single A. Michael K. Conforto needs to bat 10th. Oh, come on now. Well, actually, Michael K., why would anyone play a guy hitting 170 every day and bench a guy hitting 400 with 1,000 OPS? Look, he's got. I'm shocked no one asked him about. I'm shocked that no one asked Dave about Kim today after the game. If I make it down to San Diego, I'm going to ask Dave Roberts what he needs to see from Kim to give him some more playing time, and if he feels like it's going to be impossible to keep him out of that lineup. And I think too, the tricky thing is. It's not about, let's give this guy some playing time. It's about, no, let's develop this bat so he can help us down the line and he can just further cement himself on this roster. Kim is way too good right now to consider trading. T-Rex, no one's trading Kim. Kershaw of the year from Douglas Spencer. 2 seasons, get Skeens and Pittsburgh pirated strength and conditioning coaches as a package. A.M. Sanchez, I get what you're saying, Michael K., for sure. But yeah, a reminder, by the way, if you haven't yet, you're going to want to go to Max Muncy's event. Go to Max Muncy's event. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of players there. It's going to be a lot of really entertaining things to get into, live entertainment. I'm sure it's LA. You'll see some celebrities there. So just want to throw another reminder that Max Muncy's Uncorked for a Cause wine tasting and auction event hosted by Max and Kelly Muncy takes place on June 12th at 7 p.m. at the Intercontinental Hotel. Proceeds benefit the LA fire relief and recovery efforts. For tickets, go to uncorkedforacause.com. That's uncorkedforacause.com. Go have fun, hang out with the best team on the planet. Go check out some cool auction items, and it's all for an incredible cause. So definitely be sure to be a part of that. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. I'm going to do some more comments, some walk-off comments on the way out. Anything crazy, anything hilarious, that's what I want. Any hot takes. 310 more on the way out. Delirium, we will win 2 of 3. The X factor, though, is Tatis's patented ringworm formula that he shares with his teammates. The ringworm cream reference. Here for it. Here for it. Conforto and Tanner Scott for Skeens 2 seasons. Jose Aguirre's Dave is jealous of Kim's quads. Look at you, brother. Bruh. Give you a brother. Should we get Bauer back on the league minimum? And they're not even considering that, so it's a thing. D-Mac, I need a ride. Coffee boy, I'll pick you up. Let me see the thumbs up, and we'll get you in. Nando 390, Muncy probably wants to find everyone after one glass of wine. Jose Aguirre, PED Rays fans World Series this week. Ella Shiva Jones, D-Mac, how to buy the tickets to the Padres game if you live in L.A. County. I mean, you're probably going to have to go hit the secondary market with things like Tick Pick and Game Time and things like that. Tommy Tanks playing at Petco Park. I love that. I love that. Conforto hits one game winning hit and makes national news. That's from Michael. For hashtag free Kim, play him every day. 4-seater over under on how many tacos D-Max has at Petco Park. 4-seater 777. I'm taking the under because I'm eating just tortas. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Dodgers Nation post game show. Have a great rest of your day. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers that salvage the series, that get the win behind a great performance there. 5 innings of 1-run ball from Clayton Kershaw, a season-high 7 strikeouts. The Dodgers, they get the win in St. Louis. They're a game up, a 7-3 dub for your boys and blue. But see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.